Hello viewers, this is Paladin of Odin, and this is some more Magic the Gathering Online. This is another episode of the Standard Commentary series. So far, it looks like we have a colorless, I was about to say mono-colorless again, we have a colorless Eldrazi deck, and we also have a mono-green ramp deck, at least so far. He could be running the red variant, or he could be running the blue variant, walk ramp. But so far we don't know. Double Ghostfire Blade on an Eldrazi Mimic, so it's a 6/5 attacking in Rattleclaw Mystic Chump blocks. Rose of Reef, double Tomb of the Spirit Dragon, Shrine, Forests, Sanctum. 6, 7, 8 mana. Tapping for 6, 7. World Breaker. Exile target artifact, enchantment, or land. So he gets rid of one of the Ghostfire Blades. Not that he really had to worry about that right now. But then again, if he had gone for one of the lands, depending on how this guy built his deck, it might not affect him a whole lot. This way he gets rid of the Ghostfire Blade, which is a very easy buff for any Eldrazi that this guy plays. Now the Eldrazi deck is in quite a bit of trouble, because he's going to have a really hard time getting rid of this 5/7. I'm trying to think. Spatial Contortion. If he attacks in and blocks, he could Spatial Contortion the World Breaker and it would die. The problem is that World Breaker has that ability that lets it come back. And in Ramp, they have tons of land to sacrifice. Ooh, Thought Not Seer gets rid of another World Breaker. Wow, and leaves him with a World Breaker and 2 land. Oh, that is just disgusting. He had 3 World Breakers. And there's number 2. Probably going to get rid of the other Ghostfire Blade. Now the only buff that he can give his Eldrazi is the Ruins of Oran Reef. And that only works when they come into play, that turn. And now he really doesn't have a very good answer for dealing with a 5/7, let alone 2. Well, Reality Smasher turns it into a 6/6. That makes the Eldrazi Mimic a 6/6. Unfortunately, he doesn't have anything to do on top of that. That would have been a really good opportunity to throw something like a Spatial Contortion. The problem is he didn't have the mana to do it. So back to the ramp side. They're currently pretty much at a stalemate. But all the ramp deck has to do is drop a bomb. Like Ugin. And the Eldrazi deck concedes. Ugin could have +2'd and killed off the Eldrazi Mimic. The -0 is pointless since they're all colorless. So let's go to game 2. Okay, turn 2 Eldrazi Mimic from the Eldrazi deck. They did take a minute, maybe even a minute and a half to sideboard. I don't know which deck was sideboarding. I don't know that there's a whole lot that the ramp deck could side in to take care of Eldrazi. I also don't know that there's a whole lot that Eldrazi could do against the ramp deck. Maybe Titan's Presence, if he doesn't already have it in his deck. What else is there? No, that one... There is that common that's not really that good. The 7-drop that exiles target permanent. Theoretically, that would work. It's just I don't really see it being all that viable because of how much it costs. Endless One as a 3/3 attacks in with the Eldrazi Mimic. Ramp plays Nissa's Pilgrimage. And I have to be honest, it's starting to look like he's playing a mono-green ramp. Which is understandable. Worldbreaker is a really good card. And its mana cost is cheaper than, the big Eldrazi's. But you can still play the big Eldrazi's since you're playing a ramp deck. He's just losing out on the red element of being able to clear the board of small creatures and throwing down Dragonlord Atarka, though I haven't seen her played a whole lot lately. And then the walk ramp is just all about the extra turns and awaken. But ramp is down to 12. Eldrazi's got a pretty good rhythm going on here. He's got 5 damage on the board. Hangerback Walker for 2. That will turn the Eldrazi Mimic into a 2/2. Attacks in for 5 more. Ramp is down to 7. He's only got 5 land in play. He's too short of the Shrine of the Forsaken Gods. Throws down Sanctum of Ugin. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. He does have 8 mana. 7 for the Worldbreaker. Is he going to pop the Sanctum? So he's going to exile Hangerback Walker. Not a bad idea, since he's going to have a hard time dealing with Thopter tokens otherwise. Even though the Worldbreaker does have reach. But, he's dealing with a small mob here. And, Worldbreaker is a big guy who can take care of pretty much anything that's being thrown at him. But, there'll be more guys getting around him otherwise. He does fire off the Sanctum to go and grab another Worldbreaker. 2, 4, 7. Yeah, he does have 7 mana, so he can throw down the Worldbreaker next turn, which would be really bad news for the Eldrazi deck. Because so far, we haven't seen him have an answer for anything as big as the Worldbreaker. Aligned Hedron Network. I guess we just saw his answer. And I haven't seen anybody play this card before. 4 mana, when it comes into play, exile all creatures with power 5 or greater until it leaves the battlefield. 5 more damage, ramp goes down to 2. When you cast Worldbreaker. So he can throw down the Worldbreaker, get rid of Aligned Hedron Network, get the other Worldbreaker back. He is in a very dangerous position being at 2, though. If he gets a Reality Smasher, then the game's over. And as expected, he's exiling the Aligned Hedron Network, which gets him back his Worldbreaker. So he has a really good defense at this point. But all it's going to take is one more creature to be able to get around that. Or, I just noticed, Rogue's Passage. Oh, dude! I don't think he noticed either. He could have tapped 4 and given any of his Eldrazi unblockable and won the game right there. I don't know if the ramp deck is going to be able to capitalize on that or not. But that was kind of a big deal right there. Okay, fires off the Hedron Archive to draw 2 cards. He does have 7 land now, so the shrines do make 2. Plays another Hedron Archive. Plays his own Hangerback Walker for 1. And just by the numbers, he loses here. All he has to do is attack all in. This time he notices, and the ramp deck concedes. Well, I'm going to end the video there. That was Mono Green Ramp versus Colorless Eldrazi. And if you liked what you saw, hit that like and subscribe button for me, and I'll